Yo, Dow, Dow. So this is the last project. Wait a little bit for this one. I have an interesting backstory about this one. This was the most recent one, so I think this is gonna be in a more developed backstory. Also, it just came out last year, possibly 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, last year. Um, this project wasn't really heavily promoted by me because of the fact that I actually was planning on quitting doing music at this time. I felt like I was too old, that I needed to be normal, yada yada yada. But for some reason, I guess I got into the habit of making music to the point where to the point where I was just doing these songs for fun, and I think that's what gave the theme of this is the satirical joking theme, um, a comedic theme rather. Sorry, I'm a little bit thrown off, but I think that's what gave it that because I was really making these songs a lot of them for fun, and then there was a concept that happened after Georgia. There's like a 3 year lapse where I'm kind of experimenting, trying to find my way, and yeah, I think after this was a time where I was sort of settling into like you're an adult now, all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, it wasn't promoted that much. I was just like whatever about it. Kind of put it out, but I still think it's my best project. But I, like I said, I wasn't promoting it that much. Took some feedback with the mixing and mastering for it for from the other projects, and yeah, that's how it is. The reception is overwhelmingly positive from like everyone. So yeah, I think it's one of my greatest, if not my greatest, projects of all time. I think the project, I think it was the best of that year that came out. You could check and see what year that was. To call it your own opinion, I think it was the best project of that year. Um, I really enjoyed it. It was really creative. Yeah, so I was planning on quitting music, but then I think two things happened. Was one, there's this guy Fabo in the Orlando area who showed me how to make music from the show in the local area, and um, there's the this project being well received and being really good for my standards and others is uh, showed that I should still be doing music. So, without further ado, let's kind of get into it. I mean, we already know what happened. After this, I'm gonna do a rating on all the projects because my boy JT Flame suggested that he likes rates. I don't really like doing them, but whatever. I figured it should be fun. All right, let's go.
Doubt. Wanna live on my own, but I can't make ends meet. And my parents beat me up, cause I'm over 18. As soon as I save, prices rise against me. So I'ma sit back and do my own thing. This man online said he can help me. I just gotta take a class that lasts 3 weeks. Yeah, I'ma take this, then lay on the beach. Yeah, I'ma get rich and fly overseas. Okay, I'ma invest in this, I don't know what it is. Okay, I'ma make a song and then I'ma make a hit. Okay, I'ma get some friends and then I'ma make a skit. Whatever job I could do, I'ma make it make sense. But I know to make it, I can't live in my means. So I gotta buy more clothes than I need. Fake it till I make it, I can't keep my beliefs. My account's negative cause I spent a couple G's. I'm spending money. Gotta get money cause I can't be basic. Gotta pretend that I'm always on vacation. If price is gonna rise, then I gotta make changes. Cause I'm that boy, BOY, I'm ballin' on inflation. Whatever it takes, yeah, I'm gonna make it. Got a credit card cause I can't make the payments. Gotta blow money cause I can't afford to save it. Cause I'm that boy, BOY, I'm ballin' on inflation. I'm spending money. Wanna be like Trump so I can be with the elites. Grant Cardone said invest in only one thing. So I'ma take my check and invest in a tree. Yeah, trees are everywhere in the forest and the streets. Yeah.
So I was playing this song for somebody before it released. So this is actually one of or actually the only time where I actually, before I released all the songs randomly, I was showing people separately behind the scenes to see the reaction and get to understand the appeal of the project as a whole. And I remember I was saying this song to people, and one person said, I know you said it's satire, but I like a lot of what you said. And I think the tone of voice and the flow and the conviction behind what I'm saying kind of confuses people. Because people relate to the emotion, like young men especially relate to the emotion of trying to make your life better, trying to advance. And I think a lot of people think satire is making fun of that perspective. I don't think it's making fun of that perspective, ball on inflation. I think what it's really doing is it's showing that perspective in a comedic way to show the absurdity of essentially our American capitalist social system. What I'm saying by social system is, like, obviously there's more ways to get rich than to just ball out and look like you're one of the 1%. I think that route is the most advertised route, if that makes sense. But of course, there's many other ways, and that's the beauty of our system, is that in reality, there's a lot of ways to get rich. But what's advertised socially and what's encouraged socially is to just fall in line, act like the people at top, even if you're living beyond your means, because you're not the people at top. So I think that's what it is. And I'm talking to a lot to people at the time, because I was into the investment thing at one point, and I'm talking to people and they're telling me about crypto and all this stuff, and they're all giving me different explanations. I look up what crypto is actually doing. I don't know the explanation now, but I did back then. But I remember that it was different than what a lot of people are saying, like what crypto is, how does it work, blah, blah, blah. I mean, all these different information. Then I figured out that people don't really know. A lot of the investor bros, they don't really know what they're talking about. They have a vague idea of like a general thing, but they don't really know what they're talking about because they don't take it seriously. It's the pursuit, it's the look, it's the look of everything, look of being rich rather than being rich. I think that's another element in balling on inflation as well. So, yeah, so I think there's a lot of things really to consider. And then the lyric of I'm going to invest in a tree, because trees are everywhere in the forest and the streets. Similar to like when people invest in Tesla, they think, oh, Tesla's popular, so it has to pop off. That's not always the case. It's not always the case. There's always inherent risk, and you have to look at things beyond the hype if you're going to invest. I'm not a professional investor, but but a lot of professional investors would say the same advice: look beyond the hype and look at the practicals and be sort of skeptical or paranoid. But yeah, so that's another element to this as well. And I think a lot of people, either they're too young or they're too much in this mindset so where they couldn't really see the humor in it and the irony in it. But I guess I'll take this time out to explain a little bit of that for the people who did not understand.
Yeah, I'ma have no money for about 2 weeks. When the stock goes up, that's when I'ma eat. I'm dedicated to the money, I'm attracting it to me. Trees gotta make money, everyone loves a tree. Okay, I can see it now, my account's getting bigger. Bought that Robert Kiyosaki, so I'm already richer. And I watched that Wolf of Wall Street, now I see the bigger picture. America showed me there's losers and there's winners. I gotta commit, man, I can't stop now. Like the government when they send troops out. Just get the job done and throw money all around. Spend the money, don't care how, we'll just figure it out. I'm spending money. Gotta get money cause I can't be basic. Gotta pretend that I'm always on vacation. If price is gonna rise, then I gotta make changes. Cause I'm that boy, B.O.Y. I'm balling on inflation. Whatever it takes, yeah, I'm gonna make it. Got a credit card cause I can't make the payments. Gotta blow money cause I can't afford to save it. Cause I'm that boy, B.O.Y. I'm balling on inflation. This is how I get I'm spending money. This is how I get I'm spending money. This is how I get I'm spending money. This is how I get I'm spending money.
Yeah, so like that song. So first off, I'm gonna approach Project 2025 in a different way than my other projects, because I feel like this project is one of the more straightforward ones, and if you don't like it, you're kind of just not into my music, and that's completely fine. But Yeah, I think it's one of the more straightforward, simple ones, and we all could relate to it, whereas the other ones had a lot of personal writing into it. The last part is how I get my worth. Yeah, you do get your worth in general conventional American society by how much money you spend rather than how much money you save, how much money you give. And what I mean by the difference between giving and spending in this context is not Merriam-Webster dictionary, but in this context, is like giving. I'm talking about donations. So rather that people often don't care about how much you're donating, unless you do it in a way that's flashy. Look, I have so much money. I'm the white knight in shining armor. We care more about what you're spending your money on, because I'll break it down like this. If someone says they're rich, most people will say, what do they have? And they won't talk about the money. They'll talk about the cars, the clothes, the receipts, whatever. They won't go and say, okay, let me check their bank account. That's just most people. Or they might think that, but the proof is what car they drive. It's about the lifestyle more than it is about actually having money and feeding your family. And and young people, particularly young men and women too, but young men particularly are doing these risky behaviors, doing all these stupid things for the pursuit rather than to try to actually build their lives up. And listen, I'm not saying I'm better, because I've definitely done that a part in my life before. But I guess the message to that is like, just be yourself and find your niche and take enough risk and know yourself and how you approach the world, basically. Don't just try to chase things just to chase things. So that's Ball Inflation. The next is a freestyle. It's this, and by the way, the beat to Ball Inflation was inspired by Mr. Me Too. So if you hear a lot of Neptune's influence in that, it's because there is a lot of Neptune's influence in that. The second one is a Dow freestyle. I don't think I have much explanation for it. And yes, Shady reacted to this album. And yes, I just played the beat and rapped along. So everything was just completely off the cuff. No re-records, no nothing. Just one take freestyle. Here we go.
Yo, I want you to take this time to just relax and think. Shut up and relax and think. I'm a freestyle this whole entire thing. So you ain't gotta get nothing too fancy, nothing, it's gonna be straight from the heart. Listen, alright, no writtens. Alright, let's get it. Alright, I said relax and think. Sit back and close your eyes, I don't mean to blink. Sit back and actually meditate, contemplate, and hear me create. I don't really have to be fake. I practice my destiny, I'm all for fate. And I don't really gotta do faith. I just read a book and put my thoughts in place. Listen, I don't ever stop. Off the top, the rhymes I jot, they're all I got. And I also work too, I provide too. I'm someone that you can't lie to. You can try to, I'll probably go and inspire you and be your worst enemy times two. Cause that's just how I do, So I want you to sit back and relax as I go and spit these smooth raps, and you actually get a heart attack or stress like your girl didn't text back. Now she your ex after great sex, after she just took a really big check from you and your family too. I'm bigger than the 2 Live Crew back in like 1992. This is
Alright, so
and this is the proof.
The reason why I laughed there is because I actually did not know 2 Live Crew's like heyday. Apparently in 1992 they were really popular. I did not know that the heyday of 2 Live Crew. By the way, I also made this beat on the iPhone. And I remember I was making the beat, I believe in a hotel room. It's a really old beat. A lot of this stuff is really old concepts stringing together. And my mom said it was trash. It was terrible. And she started moving her feet to it and like understanding and getting it. She's like, what? Typically how my beats go with people.
I do the satire and I inspire, but I'm just preaching to the choir. If you're already here on the song, then my music catalog is where you belong. Have 4 albums before this, many more recorded. Spit bars on these beats so I have to torch them. Fire. I can freestyle all of my rhymes, but I prefer to be a writer. You can get a write-up, cause me, I'm a teacher. If I'm the one ballin', then I set you on the bleachers. I'm the kingpin, you can't reach this. I'm the preacher, you can't preach this. I'm speaking, you can't speak this. I release my demons. Smile with my emotions. This is just pure devotion. I never ever stop, I set it in motion. Just like the waves in the ocean. This is how I do it, how I pursue it, how I do the music. This is just a movement, like Gil Scott-Heron said. It's a revolution, I won't be televised, I won't be telling lies. I'll be smiling to the day that I die. Tomorrow I will rise from the ashes just like a phoenix. If you got pain, go on and bring it. I'll be the kingpin, I am a genius. Doesn't really matter if I'm the one you don't believe in. Now switch up the whole scheme then, I also got the beats, I also got the pad, I also got the raps, I also got everything that you wish you had. And I'm a dad, and I be working full-time and part-time at the same time. Basically, I got it all on lock like South African apartheid. You cannot break away my ways, cause I will get you all tied up in my tide. I'm a high tide, You can never ever reach my highlights. Cause I'm like you times 5. No matter of fact, times 10. Matter of fact, squared to 10. The power of 10. I try to do math in my head, but it doesn't matter. I'm freestyling all this, I ain't grabbing the pen. Yo, alright, no more freestyle, listen. You better go and support this. Share this with your friends, or your life will end. Cause everyone else sucks, that's the truth. You can't say I condescend. Do you comprehend? Yeah! Down!
Yeah. It's a freestyle, so there's nothing much to explain about that. All right, here's don't. The beat was crazy. I just loved it. Both of the songs I really like. I find no problems with them. So I'm sorry if I'm not as critical as the other ones. It's just I find this album to be amazing. The next one is the hit. Don't Talk to Strangers. People love this. You know what? Don't Talk to Strangers. It originally wasn't supposed to be on this project. I actually made it randomly. I had the project ready and I made it randomly. But it ended up being people's favorite song on here. So, yeah. Let's go.
All this Russian milk, she was looking really plastic, but she knew how to flirt. So I had to have it. She had a Prada purse. She was living really lavish. She had that ambition that made a girl attractive. I asked her, what's her name? She said, First Lady Trump. Her man was right behind her, shaking hands, giving hugs. I asked her why she looking when her man is right there. She said he gets distracted. You don't have to be scared. Don't you talk to strangers, 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 talk, cause they'll put you in danger. You in danger. Talk to strangers, 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 talk, cause they'll put you in danger. She took me to a room in the tower so secluded. She was comfortable, she knew what she was doing. She asked me questions, I told her I do music. She said, oh that's cute, and we kept on moving. We got into her dungeon, she had whisk papers and pens. Told me that I turned her on, she wants to play pretend. She told me she wants to not vote for her husband, but she's submissive. So my job was to whoop her in the ballot box until she listened. Don't you talk to strangers, 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 talk, cause they'll put you in danger. You in danger. Talk to strangers, 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 talk, cause they'll put you in danger. You in danger. Vote for Trump advance, vote for Trump advance. I was whipping, but she kept yelling I can't. I left lashes on her back and I had bruises on my hands. She said it's not working and she pulled down her pants. She said hit this if you can. Hit this if you can. She said whip me like a man. Understand? It was weird, so I ran out the tower to the street, and I didn't stop to breathe. Then a van pulled up on me. Don't you talk to strangers, 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 talk, cause they'll put you in danger. You in danger. Talk to strangers, 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 talk, cause they'll put you in danger. You in danger. It's not my fault she was looking down. It's not my fault she was looking Melania. It's not my fault she was looking down. It's not my fault she was looking Melania down.
You know, another cool thing about this project for me as an artist is like, this was the first time I actually so I'm moving back to Orlando, and Orlando is different than Chicago. Chicago is very like intellectual, avant-garde, substance driven, and Orlando is more like pop, what's catchy, whatever. So there's a lot of simplicity in Orlando, and I think with this project I reached a point where I'm like, okay, let me stop trying to be the most complex or out there. Let me just make songs that resonate with me but also are simple, because I do like simple music. Like I like Drake, I like, you know, other pop, like I love Ariana Grande when she was in her prime with Positions, Sweetener, and Thank You Next. I love that kind of stuff. I love Fetty Wap when he in his prime. I still listen to those songs. I like Charlie XCX. She's screaming down. I like Charlie XCX. Like you guys get the point. I like a lot of simple music as well. So I'm like, how do I make a poppy, or I guess a simpler catchy, make simpler catchy songs, but still resonate topically and resonate substantively with me? And I think I think for a while I thought that making simpler songs was somehow sacrificing the artistic merit and the messages within the songs. But now with this project, it kind of changed the ways. Like, you know, it all depends on where you take it, not what has been done before, but where you take it. And I think that that's a big lesson for me to learn. That song, a funny thing about that song is that song I sent to people before I released it, like I said before. And this one guy, he said he played it, he at first he was so confused, but then after like it ended, he was like, bro, send me that beat. And by the way, for anyone watching this, if you're an artist, don't tell me to send you a beat or send you a song that I already have done. That's very annoying, and I'll say no or I ignore it. It's very annoying. It's very annoying because most people that do that don't have their own original ideas, and it's like, if I done the idea, I don't find it interesting because in my head, I think it's cool that you admire the song that much and you admire the beat that much, but it's just, it doesn't go anywhere with me. I don't get insulted. It's just you're not gonna get the results you want, and I know most likely you're not going to do anything to it. So yeah, next song, I Love White People.
Danny Mac is, and I work for Alva Industries, and I moved up the corporate ladder incrementally. They are in business for military weaponry. I talk to the public when they need better marketing. I'm a black man, wait, nah, I'm mixed, so they say I'm different, guess I'm more legit. Anyway, I talk real nice and I'm quick. In the interview, they say I'm well equipped. When they compliment me, I show them wit. Make them feel more comfortable with my quips. They promise a high salary, yes, I'm rich, as long as I look nice and I say my script. I'm so glad to be a part of this company. Matter of fact, nah, I'm part of a family. Yes, I made it, I got opportunity because I do me. Flattery and formality. Hey, sir, let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Hey, sir, let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Hey, sir, let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Hey, sir, let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. This woman named Lilith said she wanna be friends. Man, white people are easy to impress. It's amazing how they never get stressed. Man, they might be anxious, but it's for the best. She invited me out before my shift. She chose to go to Popeyes because it's quick. She likes my punctuality and my personality. She finds me interesting because I'm mixed. She said she loves the Filipinos and the Haitians. She ignores that I'm black and she calls me Asian. We had an off-the-wall conversation. She made some race jokes, but she ain't racist. I told her about my family and showed her my daughter. Cause the conversation went quiet and it felt real awkward. After that we went back, I said thanks for having me. Another good use of flattery and formality. Hey sir, let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Hey sir, let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Hey sir, let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Hey sir, let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. After my speech, I was called to the office. I thought my speech was great and my boss was astonished. It said he was stern, said I needed to be talked with. He said I've been treating all women like objects. Said I harassed them, said they feel unsafe. I said, who said that, boss? He said, no names. He said, just watch out, he don't want no more trouble. I said, okay, then I walked to the door. He said, never mind, and I looked back befuddled. He said, I'm too risky, I guess I clench my fist tight, but I ain't gonna fight. I said, alright, and then I pushed forward. At least I'ma get a check that kept me moving happily. Fired on my first week, but I can eat currently. Whatever white people do is done so carefully. So I move with dignity, flattery and formality. Hey sir, let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Hey sir, let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Hey sir, let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Hey sir, let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Let me shake your hand. Hey, I know the song's supposed to be over, but I got another jingle. Wait for it, here it goes. I love white people. I love white people. I love white people. Say it loud. I love white people. I love white people. I love white people. Say it loud. I love white people. I love white people. I love white people. Say it loud. I love white people. I love white people. I love white people. Say it loud. I love white people. I love white people. I love white people. Say it loud. I love white people. I love white people. I love white people. Say it loud. I love white people. I love white people. I love white people. Say it down. I love white people. I love white people. I love white people.
Yeah, so with that song, obviously it was I want to clarify something. I think a lot of, like, even the white people that heard it, I think a lot of them don't get mad at that song as much because the substance of it is related obviously to corporate structures. However, I would say though that whiteness is maintaining corporate structures, and what I mean by that is, like, there's many corporations that are doing the right thing, whether it's for profit reasons or whatever, but it's still just the right thing where they're allowing diversity to be shown. And what I mean by that is, like, they might hire a black person just to seem like they're with it or whatever, or if they're appealing to California or appealing to whoever. Like, it's all shallow. However, you got to get in where you fit in, and pretty much business and power is shallow anyway, so that's just how it is. But in particular to whiteness and white people, there is sort of this corporate structure or this way where you want to, depending on who the audience is, to appeal to white, to black, to brown, to whatever, in a very shallow way. That being said, I think I Love White People uses white people as an example rather than like as a super like condemning white people, like all white people suck, like the wokest out there. And I think that's what kind of makes it a little bit more palatable, is that even white people can relate to, like, yeah, my boss does similar things, these fake things to me, and they can look at sort of the boss in this story as a corporate structure and understand where the substance of my complaint is coming from, divorced of race. Now, that's if they catch on to that. I can see a lot of white people saying, well, that's just not exclusively, white people aren't the only ones to do that. And they will be completely correct. That being said, I don't think this song attacks white people particularly, but the concept of whiteness and corporate structures. However, the counter to that is that the corporations are pretty shallow, and the corporations don't care about you, and everything's just a political game. And if it means quenching any uproar or making things go peace or maintain the status quo, they will fire someone innocent. Your boss will fire you if he feels like your presence is causing too much trouble, even if you're completely right in the situation. And white people went through that, black people went through that, yes. However, I'm talking from my perspective. I never got fired from a job because I'm usually good at mitigating things or problems with me, and also my work ethic is just so strong to where, you know, when a manager is balancing the status quo and the efficiency of things, my efficiency is so high and my talent level is so high. Usually, sometimes it's not, but usually so high to where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna let them go because the little bit of trouble that they're giving me is less than the work they're giving me, or the results they're giving me. That's how these managers think, and that's how these corporations think. Granted, in this case, if you're a black person not fitting in culturally with a mainly white institution, you're going to get the punishment because you're the minority in that situation. Now you can say, oh, it happens the same way if the white person goes to a black institution. At least from my experience, it's not the same thing. Black people are more accepting. But I would say black people, there is typically people bullying the white person and making jokes and teasing them. And that's not good. But I don't see overall that if there's a white person struggling and they need a job from a black business, the black business will say no. Maybe there is. I'm speaking this out of experience. Maybe there is. But from my understanding, it's usually the opposite. And if it's not, well, we're looking at America, because Project 2025 is based on America. There's more white institutions, white people have more just because of the history and all that kind of stuff, and because there's just more white people in the country. So even if you want to say on an individual basis, yes, corporate structures and power have to be done differently, and I would agree with that. I do think the perspective of from a minority critique of the majority is more powerful than the other way around. Just because, like I said, minority to majority. But yeah, this song, to clarify that, all that to be said, I don't think the song is exclusively racist, but I think if you're smart enough or wise enough, you would understand that sort of already. All right, next song, Me and Billy the Scapegoat.
Society.
All right, so that song I think is much more layered than people give it credit for, possibly because it's. I'll just explain more on that. So, Me and Billy Scapegoat is clearly talking about police brutality and unjust lawful practices. I think it's very important here because I think it's easy for the left to interpret this as just a pro Black Lives Matter thing, and I think it's for the right to just take it as me being super leftist. No, if you actually listen to the lyrics, it's much more nuanced than that. So, of course, Me and Billy the Scapegoat, if you know what a scapegoat is, it's just typically a weak minority taking the fault of all the ills in society, right? So that's the angle I'm coming from with it, from police brutality, which is police brutality happens and the police are protected. Diplomatic immunity. Try to get us with immunity. It's so hard we get impunity. If we get hit, the state pays all the fees. That's true. The local governments or the government, I don't believe it's federal, but someone can fact check me on that. The governments do pay if the cop gets sued or whatever. They do pay out and protect the police officer. Now, police officer could get fired or disbarred or whatever, but the state pays for those damages, and there's diplomatic immunity. The cops definitely go by a different law, different set of structures than we do as citizens. Now, some people, there's arguments on both sides of that. I'm not getting into that right now because that's what the video's about. But that's where the song goes by, which is they have more power, they have immunity, and when they get hit anyway in the court of public opinion, they go to the scapegoat. Now, when someone asks who is a scapegoat, it could go from Jews or Muslims. Now, the last line I think is more powerful. I ran these lyrics through AI. They thought I was being racist. I'm not being. No, it's clearly not being racist, or anti-Semitic. But the last line really is like people can interpret that as like I'm trying to make like society needs the police. That's what I meant to say. Like the right might see it like, oh, society needs the police. You're saying society needs the police. No, I think what I'm saying is they're willing to scapegoat anything. When that doesn't work, they're gonna blame society as a whole, which is like, oh, all these people here all need to have me being brutal. Like fascists do this all the time, where they're like, oh, people need a strong man, people need me, people need it. I'm gonna blame that. They're willing to blame society for their own malfeasance or their own tyranny in a lot of cases. Society needs it. Same thing with happening with ICE right now, right? Society needs protection from these illegal immigrants who don't commit as much crimes as they hype it up to be. But society needs that. So that's what that last line really kind of harkens to. But yeah, it's obviously influenced by punk. I really like the song. Some people thought it was too chaotic, but whatever. I don't really care. I love all these songs so far. I really have nothing else to say. I Love White People. The beat was inspired by African drumming and like African choirs, but of course I was using that for I was using the sounds of a doll, so it was done artificially. I thought that was a pretty cool thing that I didn't say last time. And Mr. Smooth, here was a single to this album. Funny song, pretty straightforward, but here we go.
Call me Mr. Smooth, I'm the type to walk in and get you in the mood. Buy you a ring and exotic shoes. You ain't gotta cook, my chef got the food. You're looking so fine that you light up the room. Imagine me next to the fine side of you. You could be my wife and do what you like to do. You are like a prize box, I wanna get inside of you. You know I'm playing, you know I'm patient, but you gotta know that you are on my wait list. I got women outside waiting, prepared to take this, but most of them basic. You came in, looking so dangerous, you should be famous, you're that amazing. Something that I see in my dreams, when I'm dazing off in my imagination. I'm Mr. Smooth, got so much money and I don't know what to do. I ain't broke, success is cool, but I'm lonely with the money, I need love too. That's why I call on you. I'm Mr. Smooth, got so much money and I don't know what to do. I ain't broke, success is cool, but I'm lonely with the money that I need love too. That's why I call on you. Why you wanna argue on a jet, acting like I'm cheating because I got head. You a mess, this must be PMS. How you acting stressed around the money that I flex? I ain't about the yelling, baby, I'm about the checks. If you wanna leave, just go, say less. I could rest peacefully while you shop at Payless, dating some guy that don't know how to dress. Oh, now I'm playing. You are one of a kind, what am I saying? I've been through so many toxic relationships, I took it out on you. I just wanna take you in and buy you all the jewels, but I don't know how to spend all this money without thinking I'm used. I know what we got is love, I won't cheat again, I just need your trust. I'm Mr. Smooth, got so much money and I don't know what to do. I ain't broke, success is cool, but I'm lonely with the money, I need love too. That's why I call on you. I'm Mr. Smooth, got so much money and I don't know what to do. I ain't broke, success is cool, but I'm lonely with the money that I need love too. That's why I call on you. I only hit you once. Why you crying like you lost a lot of blood? You must be drinking or doing lots of drugs. You was talking rough, so I had to shut you up. How you gonna embarrass me in front of my friends? How you gonna act like I don't ride in a Benz? You say I'm shallow when I don't listen to you and your emotions. That's the problem, I'm too devoted. You are not, you are phony. I bet tonight you're gonna lay down and hold me. Tell me that I'm your one and only. But I'm not, you just love me for my rollie. I'm gonna move on cause you are not the one. Tell your hood rat cousins that we're done. You're a bum, I should never fall in love. I've been broken again and now I've had enough. I'm Mr. Smooth, got so much money and I don't know what to do. I ain't broke, success is cool, but I'm lonely with the money. I need love too, that's why I call on you. I'm Mr. Smooth, got so much money and I don't know what to do. I ain't broke, success is cool, but I'm lonely with the money that I need love too. That's why I call on you.
So, very interesting song. So, I remember someone asked me, they were like, do you have a song for the ladies? I'm like, yeah, this is my song for the ladies. Thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, Mr. Smooth, recording that song actually was hard to record it because I kept laughing when I written it out. I kept laughing and I was trying to sell the character and it became more and more funny. And then, like, people really laugh. Like, they really crack up listening to that song. It's a really funny song. But here's the sort of sobering thought from all the laughter from that song. There's a lot of people out there that are really like that. They just wouldn't say it that cohesively, like, in song format, to where, like, they wouldn't say it. But, like, basically, there's a lot of people out there that actually do think like that. And that's the sad part. And I think that's the part that people don't recognize, is that, like, yeah, no matter how goofy or crazy, off the wall and narcissistic I make Mr. Smooth, there's people that still act like Mr. Smooth and believe in Mr. Smooth. I remember this one guy, he said that he relates to what Mr. Smooth was saying in terms of, like, giving to a woman they don't give back. That's how a lot of these men find their homes, basically, in people's hearts, is that they're always the victim of their narcissism. So yeah, great beat, great flow, great hook, great everything. I have no complaints of any of these songs so far.
My God is peaceful, your God is evil. My God is truthful, your God deceives you. My God is powerful, your God is feeble. My God's a leader, your God won't lead you. My God's above all, your God is of man. My God creates law, your God leaves us stamped. My God has a plan, your God goes off chance. My God is complex, your God I understand. My God will kill yours with just his bare hands. My God will show grace and let you stay on our land. My God keeps me safe, your God leads us astray. My God kills the sin, that's for the human race. My God is straightforward, he made it so easy. You make it so hard because you won't believe me. My God sets you free, you believe what you believe. My God is timeless, we change cause we are weak. My God is so great, he sees what we can't see. I speak for my God and he speaks straight through me. I am not worthy of understanding his divinity. Your God ain't worth the worship that you give fervently. My God created all the knowledge that your people seek. I want you to have everything that my God promised you. My God will kill you and take your legacy. I'm trying to protect you and your family tree. My God is peaceful, please let him do his peace. But I am not God, I just spread prophecy. You don't believe in the true God, you're lost in your imaginings. Don't lie for the enemy, fight back faithfully, so your soul can live for eternity peacefully.
You know what's funny about that song is I actually just put the metronome on and then rapped, and I made the beat over the raps. So, like, I put a metronome at a certain BPM and then I made the beat afterwards. So that gave it like a little bit of a spoken word feel, almost like President Mackins in a way. Yeah, I mean, just to be clear, if you haven't figured it out yet, based off of my analysis of Jordan, I am an atheist. I don't believe that there is a God. You want to debate, like, anybody who wants to, like, debate me on this or whatever, we can, but usually those conversations go nowhere. So just know it's probably going to go nowhere with me as well. Anyway, so the point of that song was really just to pose a question to the theists, which is like, if we take a lot of, especially biblical texts, right, this is how you guys sound. My God is peaceful. Your God is evil. My God is, or made up. It could be made up, whatever. Like your God, and basically, in the theist mind, particularly the Abrahamic faith mind, is like they're not condescending to your culture, or to your beliefs, because they're trying to help you. So I'm just saying that dynamic there. I don't think I really strawman anyone in that song. That's really how they think. It's like, I'm trying to give you everything, and after this world, you're gonna burn to hell. I don't want you to burn to hell. A lot of people have the intercessor mindset. By intercessor, that's not a sneak diss, by the way. Let's move on from that, but it's not a sneak diss. But I'm talking about intercessors, like the real intercessors mindset of like they're just trying to help people or whatever, and that's how they sound. If you think that sounds great to you and that's fine to you, then fine. But like, I'm gonna say my own biases right now. You are serving a huge power dynamic, whether you vote or not, whether you whatever, you are serving a huge power dynamic, and you're just blindly spreading power and influence. Whether you want to agree with that, that's literally what you're doing. And the arguments that I'm posing here sound very theist in nature, and like what an actual theist would say, particularly in the Abrahamic faiths. So I don't like, just know that you are doing that, and people, and a lot of times theists try to wiggle away from that, and it's like you really can't if you're believing it in this in a literal interpretation of it. So we're gonna move on. The song was short. I think it's really straightforward too. And yeah, R.I.P. Sonia Massey. Now, the second half of this, there's a little bit more seriousness going on. It gets a little bit more dark, and I like that it's structured that way.
Knocking on the door, you pause and wait. He knocks with more force, he won't go away. You hear footsteps, you stay and pray, hoping that the cops will keep you safe. You approach the door, you don't know who it is. You see a tall white man with his friend. You see their badge, you let them in. Stay on the phone, you don't know his intent. He's talking aggressive, he asks for ID. You forgot where you put it, but you act politely. You check your bag, you look around, he's provoking you. He sounds more loud, you freeze, you pause, collect your thoughts. He's asking you questions, you can't be wrong. Try to act calm, you're talking to the law. Just give him what he wants, so he can move on. You can't run away. You act a little strange, you know he's gonna kill you. You scream, no one hears you, get out. It'll be okay. We don't need a fire while we're here. He gives you an order, follow and obey. Listen for his words, do what they say. Your stove is on, turn off the flame, move right away. It'll be okay, they're still in your house. You said they can leave, but they wanna stay. What could this mean? This is your house, don't cause a scene. We see how this turns out every day on TV. So much things to consider, no time to think, no time to breathe. Pour the water in the sink, let out the steam. The cop steps away, you see he's afraid. Rebuke him in Jesus' name, oh here comes the rage. Apologize to the devil in his face. He already threatened you, you know he will do it. Drop the pot quick before he starts shooting. You can't run away. You act a little strange, you know he's gonna kill you. You scream, no one hears you, get out. It'll be okay.
Well, I mean, you know, what else do we do? I'm not taking hot boiling water to the fucking face, and it already reached us.
Yeah, that beat is actually really old. It was supposed to be another concept of a song, but I'm glad I used it for the Sonia Massey thing. That was a very brutal case. Even Trump was like, yo, that was kind of crazy. I remember he was like, that's the one with the water, right? Like, oh, you know, he tries to support like the pro cops people. When they asked about that one he was like a little taken aback by. But yeah, pretty straightforward. I like the little melody in the hook. I like how the second part, the melody kind of cuts out and then it leads to the end of what the guy says. So you really have to pay attention to the message and the words of it. yeah, very sad case. Very, 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 very sad case. Ties into the whole police brutality thing, and basically this whole Project 2025, which is obviously referencing to the Trump or the Heritage Foundation a policy proposal thing. Just paradizes that, and this was before the 2024 election was done when I made all these songs. So I think by the time this released, it gave a lot of context to it. Um, yeah, very, very dark times in our country, especially for minorities, and I think we all are seeing that right now. All right, next song, Slick Rick, based off of Children's Story. You guys are gonna hear that, and let's go.
Uncle Manny, can you read me a bedtime story, please? Once upon a time not long ago, where people wore masks and stayed at home. Yeah, laws were stern, but no justice stood. But people followed them because they're trying to do good. There was a boy with curls in his head. Overheard his father, this is what he said. Dang, my love, we need to get some cash. Our money is falling and we ain't gonna last. The family struggle, but they got what they need. But now their business closed because of COVID-19. They got another and that sister and a brother. Some people died, but majority recovered. The boy stayed in his room getting depressed. His school wasn't good, so he struggled with tests. Now the school online, so he's getting more F's. He's stressed because his grades and he wants his friends. We can talk about this, but not with our kids. We can talk about this, but not with our kids. We can talk about this, yeah, but not with our kids. We can talk about this, but not with our kids. Trump's in the news, he's acting erratically, ripping his mask while pushing up vaccine, peddling conspiracies. Fauci is panicking, overly worrying. Cool brother family, laughing obnoxiously every day, every week on everyone's TV screen. Mixed messages keep puzzling. Clearly we say it's over, then we close down everything. Locked in quarantine unless we are rioting or wrestling. All hospitals have limited capacity. Families can't see the grandma recipes, but the streets can't be flooded. So what benefits politically? BLM gaining money and publicity, spending money inefficiently with the conspiracy, giving for the funeral that everyone could see. Has no 6 feet distancing. Well, we can talk about this, but not with our kids. We can talk about this, but not with our kids. We can talk about this, but not with our kids. We can talk about this, but not with our kids. This ain't funny, so don't you dare laugh. There's just a question that I have to ask. Why do we rep the reps and Democrats when they clearly shown that they're both trash? Listen to the boy, see how he's doing. In the midst of all the chaos and confusion, he has to go back to school with less teachers and students because the teachers all quit and the teens kill themselves in their ruin. Everyone's life here is ruined. The White House don't care if his family has funds. They can't see a team's banned, so this boy can't learn much. That's what happened. Sorry if it's boring. This is the way I have to end this story. He was only 16 in a madman's dream. In school something got worse, now we can't read. We can talk about this, but not to our kids. We can talk about this, but not to our kids. We can talk about this, but not to our kids. We can talk about this, but not to our kids. Boy, that Uncle Manny's really
Yeah, so that song clearly is about COVID-19. The reason why I reference Slick Rick Children's Story is literally because of the name Children's Story. And I think that our kids or grandkids are gonna ask us about COVID-19 and the effects of it. I want that song to stand because that's really what happened in COVID-19. We knew that since the beginning that the death rate wasn't really as high as like everyone that gets it was gonna kill. It was like either less. I don't know what it is now. Now it's definitely lower because of the vaccine or whatever. But like it was like less than 1% even then, less than 1% or 2%. My grandma had COVID and still survived. Now I don't want to be callous to the people who had COVID and passed away, but usually they had other conditions. We know that. That's a fact. So no debating that because that's a fact. We know that. We knew that then. We knew that now. As far as the lockdowns go, if someone went outside to go shopping and got COVID, which was easily could have happened because it was so transmissible, they went and they got COVID. They came back. They were risking the people in the house even more. Right? Now, the logic is that if nobody goes outside and nobody does anything and nobody, whatever, we could eradicate the virus. That was, you know what? No, I'm not going to say it was unrealistic. It was realistic. You know what it did? It led to a lot of depression for the kids. It led to a lot of, we're still dealing with a lot of harm done to our kids right now because of the COVID measures. And we knew better, according to CDC data. It is not conspiracy trash. This is just real life from the CDC data. Okay? And now I went back to school recently, and I remember someone said like scientism, whatever, is like a phrase, and like we're now kind of realizing scientism is like a real thing because of COVID. COVID was a huge mess up and a huge government overreach, and it wasn't justified. And we're seeing now even more and more that it wasn't justified and harmed a lot of kids. I stand on that because it's facts. I don't stand on that because I feel like it or feel like being a conspiracy. I dash a conspiracy theorist. I bashed Republicans and Democrats because you know what? The Democrats, to push their own political agenda, let BLM riot in the streets. And you know what? They wrote a report. There was this, I believe it was an op-ed or sometimes say whatever. They said that riots are actually fine, not because they're still the First Amendment right. They said because when people riot, other people go inside the house and stay and they don't get COVID. So let the people riot. That was actually written out at the time. Garbage. Right? Giving George Floyd a funeral. Listen, the George Floyd funeral. Oh, you don't support George Floyd? Shh. Shut up 1 second. Let's think about it. My grandfather died in COVID for something else. He died during COVID. We couldn't have more than definitely not more than 100 people see him. And we all had to wear masks in 6 feet distancing. That George Floyd funeral, it was so huge, everyone could just come together, huh? Think about that. Now, why was George Floyd publicized? Because he was publicized because he was politicized to push Democratic agendas. If you disagree with that, you're just following the demo. There's nothing. It's over now. It's no longer hype. And on the Republican side, they were also shutting down COVID and all that kind of stuff. They were. And they allowed the WWE to keep on going so that they can make profits and bring tourists to their state. That's why I say unless we are rioting or wrestling. It was politicized. Understand? Politicized for something that killed definitely less than 10, definitely less than 5. I want to say less than 1%, but I don't remember the numbers right now. I did back then. So the COVID stuff is over. The COVID regime is over. So can we admit that now? I want Slick Rick, this song, for anyone who's watching, I want this song to stand. So people can actually know, because it was made closer to the time. I can't recall all the facts now, but it was made closer to the time. So if they try to rewrite history or whatever, this song still stands. That's the power of music. All right, next song, Snake in Our Boots.
I notice people scrolling on their phones. Well, there's a bunch of evil going on. I don't get why they're focused on themselves when they can spend time doing something else. It's crazy. They want to see us locked up in cages. They want to take our kids, turn them gay with sex changes. The United States is ran by some rapists. They all worship Satan. They all gonna listen to me. I know better. I'll expose what they can't see. Apply pressure. The government gon' try to kill me. It's whatever. I'll end all the powers that be and last forever. They all gonna listen to me. I know better. I'll expose what they can't see. Apply pressure. The government gon' try to kill me. It's whatever. I'll end all the powers that be and last forever. Alex Jones told me this, so it's true. You know they put in baby snakes in your boots, so when your foot shakes, it get loose, and its fangs penetrate anything that it gets into. It's crazy. The media don't want me to say this. They distract you with the war in Gaza, so they can kill off the population. Then you'll be distracted by some overseas drama. While they get more zeros and commas, they raise all their taxes and write off their problems. We follow their plot like a dog being yanked by his collar. It's true. It's true. The rich get richer, putting snakes in your boots. You're stepping on them while they're stepping on you. I don't gotta rebout it, cause I know the truth. Why you gotta challenge what I say? I don't watch the news, cause I know it's fake. I don't read either, I watch YouTube all day. And I don't vote neither, that don't matter anyway. They all gonna listen to me, I know better. I'll expose what they can't see, apply pressure. The government gon' try to kill me, it's whatever. I'll end all the powers that be and last forever. They all gonna listen to me, I know better. I'll expose what they can't see, apply pressure. The government gon' try to kill me, it's whatever. I'll end all the powers that be and last forever. I hate all political conversations. I just want to do what's good for the nation. These politicians with their long explanations and all of these laws that are all complicated, Hey, what's the difference between misinformation and disinformation? It all doesn't make sense. The white pigmentation is great education, and I can't make payments. I struggle to make it. I wanna be saved, but I don't have a savior. The way I can gain is to fight back in anger. There's snakes in our boots. There's snakes in our boots. I don't know why they do it, but I know the truth.
Yeah. So that song obviously was told from a minority white black or brown person's point of view. But clearly that can happen to disenfranchised white people as well. But I think the snakes in our boots conspiracy minded people are in every culture. So I mean that perspective wasn't necessary. Also, if I had another critique for Slick Rick, after the first verse the vocals kind of drop a little bit. It's a little bit awkward, but I can still hear the song. So some critiques toward the end, but I still think this album is brilliant. Anyway, yeah, the whole idea of like is what everything that the character in the song said is wrong. No, I mean we are ran by pedophiles that have significant influence. I'm not saying everyone in Washington is a pedophile, but a lot of them really are, and rapists, and they worship either Satan or Baphomet or whatever, just edgy stuff. Now that doesn't affect me because I don't believe that those things are real, but it just shows that they're willing to be edgy and tell other people you believe in God while I go worship and do this edgy stuff. That being said, so that part's true. So they know these little simple things to scare them, but they don't have enough education or whatever to actually expound or critically think about these issues. So they distract from, like, they say that the war of God's a distraction, but the war of God is actually happening. It's actually real. And they're staking their boots that they're worried about is not real. So that's the irony part, and that's sort of the comedy in that song. So pretty straightforward on that part, but yeah, something to really think about. I think the last songs in this the last songs in this project really kind of expound on a lot of why this is why you need to read. It's not enough to be a conspiracy theorist or to be against power structures. You need to read and actually practice reason so that you can be stronger. You don't become worse, because some people are going to hear my music or whatever and be like, oh, I'm against all power structures, blah, blah. But if you don't have the reason and the foundation, and you don't read, you're not curious, you don't learn, you're going to become an asset of the same power structure you say that you're against. Like the person here says that I don't read, I don't do anything, I just watch YouTube all day, I'm lazy, blah, blah. And basically they're not interested in learning or interested in following the solutions. They just want the best. But what is the best solution for them? They don't even know. They don't know where to start. They don't have any of the tools, blah, blah, blah. I want to warn people against doing that as well. I think Southside Gossip is next. I think Southside Gossip follows that, but for the leftists. I'll explain more after that. But yeah, and Southside Gossip was inspired by Zombies musical of Disney and High School Musical.
It's a wonderful time here in South High, where you can live your truth. No need to lie, you can love who you want. No need to hide. Asian, black, Hispanic, or white, lesbian, gay, trans, or bi. We are all here to unite, not divide. Especially me, who's telling this story. Here are my friends, Max and Gay Corey. Max likes ice cream and walking in the park. Corey walks up homeless like they never are apart. I walk with them and they're so full of jokes. Corey hides he's gay, but everyone knows. No one really cares. Here we're all bros. Maybe he has some problems at home. Sometimes he acts weird when we both are around, but we're all South High and we all stand proud. You know that Corey's gay, right? What that gotta do with me? You know what people gonna say, right? What that gotta do with me? Hey, that means that you roll that way, right? What that gotta do with me? He's with dudes, you know that ain't okay, right? What that gotta do with me? Max and Corey acting weird today. They told me we need some alone time, go away. I was so offended, but I said okay. Maybe they're just having a really bad day. Maybe they're in trouble having really bad grades, but that don't mean they have to talk that way. Next time I see them, I'ma say it to their face. Don't yell at me again, that'll set them straight. I can't believe they said that, now I'm all alone. How can they do this? We were so close. I called Max as soon as I went home like 500 times he didn't pick up the phone. So immature, yesterday he was fine, but tomorrow he'll cry because I said what's on my mind. Him and Corey really have crossed the line, but that all will change once we're eye to eye. Max and Corey on a date, right. What they gotta do with me? You know they together every day, right. What they gotta do with me? I heard Max might get a sex change, right. What they gotta do with me? I heard the jock's gonna put them in their place, right. What they gotta do with me? I'm ready for a fight, I approach the school mad, fist clenched ready, walking real fast, get to the school early, before there's a class, but I stop at the flagpole, seeing people laugh, I look up at the pole, expecting to see the flags, but there's two bodies hanging, Corey and Max, both hanging naked, dripping blood on the grass, but Max has on makeup like he's in drag. I don't know what happened, but that's not my business. I try to be their friend, but of course they didn't listen. If they acted normal, they won't be in this position. They don't wanna be in the crowd cause they different. I was gonna make them accept it, they resisted. If they're dead now, that's something I can live with, cause I gave them attention before they were lame. They could have been cool, but they didn't change. Those two gays passed away, right. What they gotta do with me? They probably would have died from the AIDS, right. What they gotta do with me? Garrett Max wanted to be called they, right. What they gotta do with me? They really belong in the grave, right. What they gotta do with me?
Yeah, so I think South High. Hold on. I think South High Gossip really discusses the sort of jaded, callous nature of like this forced liberal society where empathy for the minority is a performance. It's a performance. It's not really a like a concern. You don't have actual empathy for the gay people or the minority people. You don't actually believe for their rights. You only care about it only if it feeds your own ego that I'm saving them. They serve a purpose only to serve your ego or your white knight fantasy or whatever. I think that is a critique of a lot of leftists, frankly. This album is not really anti-left or anti-right. It's just mocking American culture because that's also part of American culture as well. I remember I remember this one bisexual guy listened to that song. He said he really ended up liking that song. Because yeah, it's an angle that a lot of people don't take. I don't like to say what everyone else is saying. I like to put my own spin on it. But yeah, there's that. Max and Corey weren't cared about by this character, and this character didn't defend them when he could have. And I've been in that position too, where I feel like I should have defended people's rights more. So I think that we all need to reflect on that, and also shows that like, yeah, it's because someone is performing liberalism or performing leftism doesn't mean they're a good person. Just because you're performing leftism or liberalism doesn't mean you're a good person. I prefer people not to think of the world in terms of ideology and think in terms of what's reasonably correct, and then ideology falls after that. But people want to start from their ideology then go down. I think we should start with the reasoning, the facts, and see what's best. But that's not America. At least not right now. It's not America. All right, whole world. This song is really overlooked. I want to break this down even more.
In our hands, we have the whole world in our hands, and we'll let it all
Love this beat.
as we run and work all day. Yeah, we'll let it all decay.
Love the
as we
vocals here.
run and work all day. They're sitting in their golden office for a profit. Got some strings attached to products like a carrot on a stick. While they hop in many markets, while it's hop right out our pockets. It's the same rabbit process as we're bearing all of it.
Wordplay right there. Bars. They're sitting in their golden office for a profit. Got their strings attached to products like a carrot on a stick. While they hop into the I'm a butcher it, but while they hop into many markets, while it's hop right out our pockets, it's the same rabbit process as we're bearing all of it. Fire.
Listen, concrete jungles teach the hungry to hustle. We spazzing cause we're working on involuntary muscle.
Spazzing, working on involuntary muscle hard.
They're in the working subtle, but we pay for all the trouble. Ban the books in the schools, now we're having class struggles down.
You ban the books people can't educate themselves. Now we're having class struggles, the rich fighting the poor, whatever, all that stuff.
Out, force a God for you to worship as they judge you. I'll be in the cage if I move just how Trump moves. All of these lines I can't cross. Y'all see where I'm going? Yet I'm working hard to go unnoticed, lest I'm scapegoated.
The immigrants coming to this country working hard to build their lives, they're ignored unless they're used scapegoated. They're scapegoated for political reasons.
Read an article about Chiquita hiring military forces because they hate unions overseas. People could die for work, even for banana companies. And Honduras had this behavior in their history. Whole countries get toppled because of corporate greed. Yet our country complains about society because we work 5 days a week. And DEI is bad, and so is CRT. But when we leave the job, we don't read or chill with family. We just eat and sleep, watch TV, TikTok, IG, rinse, wash, repeat. People complain about words and don't know what they mean. Down. There's so much lessons that we have to learn, and I don't need the satire because we're that absurd.
See, this song is really heterodox because it's saying like we're protesting for a 4-day work week. It's like, oh, but that's better for us, blah blah. We're whining about DI. We whine about such stupid first world problems instead of looking around the world and seeing that, like, wait a minute, our companies here are toppling other countries for corporate greed, and we don't even give ourselves the time to talk and chill with family. You know what I'm saying? Like, and talk about these things and read or do anything like that. Like, we're just so busy. And like, here's the thing, like, the argument's gonna be like, okay, why can't we do both? Why can't we argue for a 4-day work week and this? The point is not like, is that there's bigger problems than that. I feel like the biggest problem, in my opinion, and this is definitely opinion, is the fact that our corporations run roughshod and ruin the rest of the world. And in a lot of cases, our corporations do that, and they have the potential to actually do better than that. I think capitalism and corporate power has the potential to do better than that, but they don't, which is probably why we need to go for a more anarchic, or at least a more liberal structure, meaning the Magna Carta, keeping everyone under the law. But that's something completely different. I can have a whole conversation about that on another video. But still, these corporate structures distract us with all these type of desires left and right, and we don't look at like the biggest picture, which is like many people are suffering, you know, and everything's performance. It's not about caring about people suffering. It's about performance.
In our hands, we have the whole world in our hands, and we'll let it all decay as we rot and work all day. Yeah, we'll let it all decay as we rot and work all day. Every morning I crack open a book and flip the pages. I embrace every strip of the text, even when it's tasteless. Cause if it's food for thought, it's something that I have to take in. I'm cooking, and I don't milk a trend for entertainment.
So there's a breakfast scheme going on. I feel like that breakfast scheme flew over a lot of people's head.
I go against the grain with little hesitation. Bread needs to be made. I find ways to make it without the propagation of misinformation. Most important meal of the day. Keep that in mind and then replay this.
See, so breakfast, so it's like, I don't milk a trend. Bread needs to be made. I find ways to make it. Like, I find ways to get my money without it. I crack open a book and read the pages. Even if the content is tasteless, I have to consume it to expand my mind and expand my arguments. Practicing reason, obviously.
We all need to read and expand our imaginations and get creative, because the YouTube algorithm playlist running reckless recommendations, building foundations of echo chambers where you will be placed in. It's so dangerous, running a simulation of your isolation. Yeah, you made it, giving it information so the data isn't baseless. You consume salacious content on a daily basis. It gives no stimulation.
The rhyme scheme is crazy here.
But you play it and you think there's no way to change it. You see that block button, you see that not recommend. You must love yelling at your phone and being in your head. But I get it, it's habitual, not intentional. The way to break out of this matrix is to think critical. But everyone thinks they know everything, but an intellectual knows their knowledge is minimal. So there's so much lessons that we have to learn, and I don't need the satire because we're that absurd.
So more explanation on that second one. It's like a second verse. It's like, yeah, we need to read, expand our imaginations, and because I said YouTube algorithm playlist, I think that distracted a lot of people. But like, really, all social media has this algorithm where it's like, go to the library to break yourself out of that algorithm and expand your mind and stop thinking you know everything because you go on your phone or you just because you're existing you know everything. Like, everyone thinks they know everything, and that's a huge problem. Like, we have to know that our knowledge is minimal. That doesn't mean that, you know, some people, they go too far in the performance. They're like, how do you know the sky is blue? And people go, oh my god, so deep, bro. No, it's not. We know the sky is blue because, you know, we can look at it, right? I'm not saying pretend you know nothing, but know that in everything you say you could possibly be wrong. And with that's not good enough in itself, all right? It's not good enough to just be completely deferential or subservient to somebody else who's clearly ignorant but confident in their ignorance and let them get away with everything. No, the reason why we adopt that is because we have to go out and search and learn more from other people's perspectives, right? So that's what that means. Like, we learn more, but that doesn't mean that we let people say whatever is wrong. No, those people deserve to be challenged, and we deserve to be challenged, and we should respond in an upfront and honest manner in order to expand the discourse and learn. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Connect. Look at the Russian education system. The elites will invest in how we connect and disconnect. Set levels for us designed to direct the culture. Yet we think politics is separate from us. Where do you think the basis of your culture come from? The elites, the hierarchy, and interactions with the environment. Cause politics is like the world. You will live and die in it. Many are interested in placing you in a category. So when you hate, you're acting out another person's story. They will spin facts, give facts, not report facts too. Give you a narrative and influence what you do. You don't know about politics and you're confused. You don't analyze the news and look at history through many views. That's because of politics. The world has a cost to spin. They will even hire scientists and journalists to lie and lie again. We're mad because we work and our days are mundane. Let's think beyond ourselves and read page after page. Help our brains. We are not all special. That doesn't mean we aren't great. We just have to see that we share the same pain. Whiteness shouldn't be something to maintain. We need to have solidarity with many different shades. Yet elites have us separated by a race. Try to erase history so they can replace racism with reverse racism and then complain. What a joke.
Let me
something to ourselves and read page after page. Help our brains. We are. They will even hire scientists and journalists. Person's story. They will spin. Yet we think politics is separate from us. Where do you?
So I think I just wanted to replay the third. I think the point of the third verse was also like, yes, this reason and this all these books and all this stuff that's necessary, but also empathy. Like we shouldn't, no matter what, we shouldn't be separated by our race. We shouldn't look at whiteness as something to maintain. We should sort of break it down. The reason why because I'm referencing CRT logic, which is the reason why, like, oh, why shouldn't blackness be basic? Because blackness is not something that people really want to maintain in any significant way in terms of power. What does that mean? So basically, it's like you take like poor country Brazil. Whiteness is associated with riches. Whiteness is sometimes associated with being smart, being civilized in a lot of places. Blackness, what does that symbolize? That on a big global level, what does that symbolize as? What does that mean? Typically, it's associated with being a savage. Typically, associated with being not part of the culture or not powerful. So that's why I focus mainly on whiteness. But I do think that distracts people, though, and thinking that I'm just bashing white people. No, I'm saying no. Let's stop these structures, stop these separations, because our society based off the Prussian education system, which basically organizes people. Some are going to be in government, some are going to be here, some are going to be. That's why we have a lot of these structures and tests saying, oh, what jobs could you be? That's why we're so focused on jobs, and what your role in society is, right? And there's certain jobs or roles or sinecures for that matter, which have more prestige because of what you have demonstrated in the past that you're able to perform for your state, right? So if I put you at school, you're good at the 4 math, whatever, your straight A's, whatever, you're more likely to go to a school with more elites, and their kids, and then a lot of them are going to go into Congress or be CEOs or have a lot of influential capital, or just influence rather, in society. And their influence in society, that is what shapes our culture. So from the beginning, we're placed into these systems and divided by our race and placed into these systems to separate us. And that part is not particularly a racial thing. That part is just how schools are set up. Certain performances, certain things are associated with being into certain roles. See, I had a 3.7 GPA, not too high, but it's above average for sure when I was in high school. And nobody expected me to just want to be a rapper, because why? Because our system is set to where, like, oh, you're going to marketing, you're going to be a doctor. I remember I was in honors classes and they said, what, you don't want to be a doctor? You want to get into rap music? I'm not the only one that said that, by the way. I think there's a meme that I saw where it's like, typically if you're an artist, especially a great artist, you're like this gifted student, and people look at you crazy like a failure after you realize that you want to take after they realize you want to take a path career-wise and life-wise deviating away from the norm. You don't want to be a doctor, you don't want to be a this, you don't want to be a that, you want to be an artist, because from the beginning our culture is set up to separate you into these categories to benefit the state. And when we focus on working and focusing on career, I'm not saying if you're an ambitious person and that's great, and you thought about what I'm saying and you thought about all this stuff, and you're like, I still want to go my career because I believe I'm helping people, or I'm so goal-oriented, that's fine. I think what I'm saying is when you blindly follow the system, when you blindly follow just working and not even connecting with your family and not building relationships and not doing all this kind of stuff, you are not this individual leader that God has chosen. You are someone who's doing exactly what you're supposed to do and succeeding and excelling within the system. You're still successful. You're still excelling. No one can take that away from you, but you were put into this system and you're following the rules system exactly how it's supposed to go. And the system, the society has put you in a position to make you think that you are special, but at the end of the day, you still die like the rest of us, and you're still replaceable. You're still a number. Let that sink in. And you could say, well, an artist is still just a number. I would argue, no, we are not just numbers, because we all have different ways of doing it, a different way. And if we step out of line, our audience follows us. Or a lot of our audience, rather, follows us. You step out of line as CEO, you're done. You're gone. So, I mean, not everyone could be an artist, but I'm just saying this from an artistic, creative point of view, and from a humane point of view. The Whole World, I think, is a much more important song. It's also much, from a bars perspective, it is underappreciated, because I think there's a lot of grand themes in here, and that people are just not ready for it, because they're not well researched, or they haven't thought about these things. But it's something to really think about. All this stuff, and all of those loose threads connect to the third verse. The corporations, the governments, the everything, that they set up a system to separate us through these notions of intelligence, but really there's measurements as to how well you can fit into certain jobs. And another thing I want to prove, like, these politicians clearly are not smarter than us, right? Like these politicians are clearly not smarter than us. Trump proves that you don't have to be intelligent to have those positions. So these separations are not even legitimate. They're arbitrary because the powerful class put these separations in the Prussian education system. They say, oh, you perform this high, you could be in this social group, you could be this social group, and you think you're smarter. No, you just perform better in certain benchmarks. Look, 3.7 GPA. I thought I was so much better than a lot of people who did not have that at one point. I did. I legitimately believe that. I'm no better than you guys either. I'm not saying I'm not. I am. My bad. I'm no better. But I realize this, and since I realize this, I want to share in my art. I want to share it. That's it. Just love your life. Be yourself. Have self-esteem. You're worth it. You're worth everything good. But these institutions, these systems, they're not going to give you self-esteem. You have to do that for yourself as an individual. Last song, Zombies Are Real, another single that came. For reference, South High Gossip, Zombies Are Real, Mr. Smooth. Those were all singles. Oh, it's Snakes in Our Boots. Last song, Zombies Are Real. Another overlooked song, by the way.
There's no good stories in Hollywood nowadays. It's all about monsters and things that are fake. Like zombies, fake.
There's not a dime for a dead mind. The economic gap is filled up with crime. They feel the high, proceed to close their eyes. People walk by them like they're all blind. They lean forward, reaching for their feet, still standing straight as they doze off to sleep. From the buildings to the hookers, everything is cheap. Viruses can spread and they still roam the streets. In the 19th century, we used to have mills. Many cultures came, causing some to get killed. After the militia killed them all, we still grew. The blacks and Puerto Ricans, we pulled up by their boots. After they arrived, Uncle Sam built his roads. And outside the city, there were new suburban homes. Now this is the downfall, nothing much left. It's hard to survive when you are the living dead. Opioid, heroin, or even cocaine. Largest drug market in the world, United States. So in a way they're welcome, but they're out of place. Opportunity was here, but it went away. Shots in the veins and shots from a gun. They're linked by their arms, brotherly love. In abandoned buildings where they give all the drugs. We're still diverse, so we hurt everyone. Zombies are real.
Yup. All right. So this to me, I think, is the perfect ender to this album. Also, the songs are arranged in alphabetical order because my computer actually did that. And when I listened to it in alphabetical order, I thought it was better. The computer made it better than my original order. This ending is perfect. First off, I'm rapping about Zombieland in Philadelphia, which is why I've said shots in the veins and shots from a gun. They're linked by their arms, brotherly love. Philly's a city of brotherly love. So I'm talking about Zombieland in Philadelphia. That's going to change the way that you view this. Or someone should view this, by the way. And the satire, the Cool Keith style satire. Great.
Another conspiracy theory.
Zombies are real. Fishtown rents are rising just like the taxes. Non-profits try to help, but not much happens. Redevelopment talks don't lead to action. We still got the hungry with destructive habits. We got people dead inside, criminals and addicts. Yeah, politicians on your TV distracted. This is one city, but it feels like many. All over the country we have cities this deadly. So when you hear about the new project that's built, or when you hear about celebs signing a deal, look down a bit and see they'll struggle for a meal. Then you'll know what I mean by zombies are real.
They're not real. What are you talking about?
Zombies are real.
I'd pay you if you can prove that, man.
Zombies are down.
Yeah, so I think that keeping it vague and having the Philadelphia references be sort of like an Easter egg rather than the censor allows people to focus on the economic troubles that we have all around this country and in our culture. So I think it's written wonderfully from that perspective. Yeah, we worry about celebrities in our entertainment, but there's plenty of things to keep us entertained. We have so much things we have to work on in our society. To the point where you say like, oh, it's so boring. There's no whatever. You want to stop being bored? Go out and help people. Go out and see how other people live. You should be interested in that as well. But once again, I guess we're all are zombies to a certain extent because we don't care about other people. So I guess we're all zombies to a certain extent. I recommend you guys listen to that song again. This is this whole album again by yourself. There's a lot of density, probably more density here than all the previous ones. All right. So, an hour. I think this is probably gonna be the longest review I have but it's one of the shorter albums because there's just that much content in it. And I'm glad I made this video because I think a lot of people ignore this content because of the humor in it. Very sad. Very, 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 very sad. All right. So let's rank it. Let's rank my albums. Hold on. So I don't do it too off the cuff. Let me write it down here. So 1, I'm putting Project 2025. This album, I think this album is 99.5% perfect, in my opinion. Very, very little tweaks, but they're not significant at all. Number 1, Project 25. 2, the one that came before this, Jorda. 3, the second one, President Mackins. 4, Hell is Confusing, Cactus Frank. 5, Psst, I'm Manny Mackins. And then 6, unfortunately, because it's my most popular one, and the me that made it back then would have got mad at me now saying this, but Mind of Manny Mackins is the worst one in my opinion. Number 1, Project 2025 is just so fun, so much depth to it. I already told you my opinion of it the whole time. I'm not gonna go too much into that. 2, Jorda. The start of something new for me as far as the quality of the songs. Very loud, very obnoxious, very straightforward, very intellectual, very challenging to the audience, very agreeable, and a smooth listen. I thought it was not going to be that smooth of a listen, but it's a very, 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 very smooth listen. I love the beats. I love the sounds. They're different. They get to the point. I just love them. President Mackins, the writing there particularly was beautiful. Why I put it down below the other ones is just because the vocal mixing was really off in a lot of cases, and they didn't really need to be. Yeah, but the concept writing was great. The character of President Max was great. The rapping was beautiful. The production was very, very suiting to the rapping. The character was great. The social commentary was great. The break it down, everything was great. I think those 3 are my core projects as to what I'm about. They all have their individual set. Project 2025 has the most humor, but they all have the humor mixed in with the big ideas, mixed in with the philosophy, mixed in with the beautiful rapping and the off the wall production that serves the emotion. They're all the production all were so emotional. So hold on. Oh, sneezing a lot, guys. They're so emotional. So yeah, like I said, they're so emotional. They tell a story within themselves, but yet they're so simple and let the performance have their thing. The other 3 are ones I don't think are essential, but if I have to break them as well. Number 4 is Hell is Confusing. Yes, I know the big complaint is the vocal quality as well as the vocal mixing. However, Cactus Frank does a phenomenal job with the production here. And also the lyricism is just so good and well done, top notch. The performance is very dramatic. It's very cut through. If you could get past the vocals, which I easily can, I think in some cases it fits it better than if I had it professionally. But for the most part, it does hold this album back a lot. Not a little bit, but a lot. Not as much as a lot of people say, in my opinion, but it does hold it back a lot. As well as Cactus Frank production is great, but I think for my style, my production fits my style better. Even though Cactus Frank is great in his own right. But the rapping, the concept is just, and the production, and it's just so good. 5, Manny Mackins is the first one. So Manny Mackins, where it really does fall for me is the latter half of it. The latter half of it goes nowhere. It's really bad. So the rapping in it, I have to put it down a notch, a huge lot, because as an album that really ruined my experience for it. But the start of it was very, very, very strong, but not strong enough to where I'm gonna put it above the product above it, man. It's just not there. As well as it felt like a very new project, very fresh project. It was a great start, but it doesn't stick the landing. And the last one is Mind of Manny Mackins. Look, Mind of Manny Mackins, look. There's highlights on Mind of Manny Mackins. You have LaVeyan, I'm the Shameful Kid. If it was cut could have been better. Would have been better. See the World Dance, produced by Shady. Very, very good song. Dino Force was fun, but it was kind of cringe. It was too emotional, too raw, too bloated. It's a one-time listen. I would only return to probably 2 or 3 songs on it if I was not me having to listen to the whole thing. Did not really like it from a enjoyable part, but it was emotional. It was cool that I got it off my chest. It was therapy for me. I would not recommend it to anybody else, especially compared to the other one. It's not terrible. It's not whack. It's just that, like, if Mighty Manny Mackins was Mighty Manny Mackins is what you expect from a first project. Whereas Pistol Manny Mackins, I think, is what is better. Not way better than Mighty Manny Mackins, but better. But because Mighty Manny Mackins is just too raw, and it was done like that intentionally. But I don't like when other artists are too raw, and I definitely do not like it when I am just too raw. Rawness is great, but it has to be hardness and focus. This was not that. It was. I mean, it was kind of hardness and focus, but not as much as it really needed to be. So there you go. There's my ranking. To review it, I said 1 Project 2025. I already said my opinion on that. Jorda, President Mackins. Hell is confusing. Still many Mackins than Mighty Manny Mackins. All right. Dow. Check out all of these albums on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your music from. And if you want my recommendation, if you're just seeing this video for the first time, my recommendation is Project 2025, President Mackins, and Jorda. Those 3. If you like those 3, those are my 3 essentials. All right. That's it. Have a good day. Dow.